I'm your host, Sarah Baus, and welcome to Attainable Podcast. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Attainable Podcast. I hope you are doing well. We moved the episode that was supposed to be happening today and kind of moved the schedule because last week was wild. We're going to get into it. But you know what? Let's dive right in because honestly, what else is there to talk about? So if you don't know by the title of this video what I'm talking about, highly recommend you take a look at the video on my TikTok about Panera, and then I also would love for you to take a look at the highlight on my Instagram stories because that is a place of joy for me. And it shows it'll give you a little bit of an insight on what's happening, but long story short, I made a video after I had left work at Panera. So I have a remote job and I work from home, but lately I've really figured out that I hate working from home. I have a beautiful office, and I hate it. And had been popping in. I'd work at the local Panera like near my house maybe like once a week. But I noticed like every time that I did, I was so much happier. I had a much better work day, and honestly, the separation of my work life and my personal life was a lot better, as you can imagine. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna work from Panera every day because people are working there all day, every day. Like there's always, there's a full company meeting in there one time, and it's never busy, it's never loud, and I really liked it. And I looked at co-working spaces, but they were just too expensive. So that was my solution. So anyway, I had left my day of working there one day, and I wanted to talk about something that I discovered. So there are these lemonades. They're called charged lemonades that Panera has. They're delicious. They have several flavors, and I knew they were caffeinated. I just didn't realize how caffeinated they are. They have like 83 grams of sugar or something and like 260 milligrams of caffeine, which is wild. Here's the thing. I was working there. I'd get there maybe around 10 a.m. and I'd leave at like 3 or 4. I'm there for a hot second. You know what I mean? So, and when you're sitting there, it's free refills. So, I would just go back and forth from the drink machine, and I would switch with water or like whatever. But I really this was my favorite drink. And I didn't realize how much I was intaking. So yeah, I would drink like 4 or 5. You can do the math or read the articles that did it for you. Specifically the Today Show article is one of my favorites. I got interviewed for that one. So I particularly like it. And the guy was super, super nice. And he also did a lot of math and a lot of fun research, letting me know how much caffeine it takes to have a seizure, which was delightful. So anyway, I made a video about it, about how I didn't know. And I, made a joke at the beginning that like this should be illegal. Like, no, there should not be a drink that has this much caffeine in it. It's crazy, especially that it's a lemonade. And for anybody wondering, like they're like, oh my gosh, they don't have a label. It's a restaurant. Of course they have a label. I read caffeinated. I didn't read how many milligrams of caffeine. Also, on the top of my head, it's not common knowledge for me on how much like caffeine is normal. Now it is. If you didn't know, 63 milligrams of caffeine are in 1 ounce of an espresso, according to a very quick Google. So that's a lot of caffeine that I was intaking. And on this day, I had been drinking them, and I had learned about the caffeine after Joseph and I, like the day before or something, went through the drive-through. And I went and got one because now I'm a part of the Unlimited Sip Club. I kept going to Panera. It made sense to buy the Unlimited Sip Club. Plus, it was like free till the end of January or the end of December. So I haven't even started paying for it yet. And but I will continue in 2023. Anyway, I went through the drive-through and he wanted to try it. And if you didn't know, Joseph's type 1 diabetic. So we watch his carbs and what he's intaking so that he can adjust for his blood sugar. He looked up the carbs and he was like, oh my God. And then he looked at the caffeine. He was like, Sarah, how many are you drinking a day? And I was like 4 or 5, like, it was a wild discovery for us. And those things will have me jacked up. Now, you guys know I'm a hyper bubbly person. So what I wasn't realizing, and I have no matter how much caffeine I'm intaking, like it was much better for me to be working out of the house. I always felt better doing that. But my bubbly, like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so me, I feel so great, I feel so awesome, I feel so blah, blah, blah." Yeah, that was largely contributed by the amount of caffeine that I had been intaking. Now, I had only done this a couple times, like, I had only been sitting and intaking that much caffeine in a day. I'd done that maybe, like, 3 or 4 times before I made this discovery, so don't worry. A lot of people were asking about my caffeine withdrawals. I don't have them, because I no longer drink that much anymore, but I made this video and it went viral, and it didn't really, I mean, it's got, like 800,000 views now or something on TikTok, but then it went to Twitter. Somebody tweeted it. That tweet, well, let me think of what happened first. Um, did Twitter happen first or Daily Dot happen first? I think the Daily Dot happened first. And I actually got an email from the Daily Dot, which is I guess, like a news outlet. They have a website. Got an email from them, asked if I could give a statement or something. I just emailed it to my new management team that I'm possibly signing with to get their advice. But anyway, they had uh we'll talk about that later. They had released it. And the next day they released the article, and I was actually at a pentatonics concert when I got a text from an old coworker of mine from when I worked in pharmaceuticals. I was like, "You were just on my news feed." And at that, I like showed Joseph during the concert. We were like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." Like, it's wild. And then this article kept circulating. So then I believe Daily Dot happened before Twitter. So then somebody tweeted this video. In fact, this person, I'm gonna call out their username, Fine Godmother. And they have only a little over 4,000 followers on Twitter, which is, I mean, pretty good. I guess I don't really know the amount of followers that's normal on Twitter, to be honest, but they tweeted this, and that, tweet now, as of this recording, has 7.3 million views, 11.5 thousand retweets, 13.8 quote tweets, and over 130,000 likes. So I've never gone viral on Twitter before. I'm actually not a very active Twitter user. Now I feel like I need to be. This changed the trajectory of everything. Then once that happened and that video started gaining momentum, news outlets everywhere were starting to pick it up. I think they kind of caught on after the Daily Dot, and then a bunch of them, I mean, this has been on, I think, entrepreneur.com, I think Elite, some Marketing Digest or something. I got interviewed for the Today Show, not the actual show, though they release articles and they have their own like news outlet. So an article was written by the Today Show, and that's the guy that I was telling you about that I interviewed with. Super, super nice. That's my favorite article. And yeah, it just got picked up by a bunch of news agencies. Like, it was going wild, and the memes on this tweet are hysterical. If you watch my TikToks, if you know me, you know I'm a very expressive person. I've been told more than once about my facial expressions. And now people have started screenshotting the video and creating memes out of my face. And I gotta tell you, have never been more proud. I really I don't know what else there is. Like, I feel like I've reached the ceiling of like a social media career, especially when now I'm getting like, I'm getting tagged in people using the meme outside of like the Panera culture. So there's people using the meme like when the caffeine hits or whatever. But then there was this some sports like a Instagram account that, and I it's in the Instagram highlight, and they used it talking about something with sports. Like, they used it within their own joke, and I was like, "Oh my god." Like, that's the best. Seeing it circulate as just like a piece of the internet is amazing. So that was all going crazy. And guys, I have to tell you, like, the amount of messages I've been getting DMs on every social media platform possible. I've been getting Instagram messages, I've been getting Facebook messages, I've been getting comments on other things. I've been getting texts from people coming out of the woodwork from like elementary school that are like did I just, like, is this you on my newsfeed? I'm getting emails of people like, did you know you're on the news? It's it's overwhelming. And a lot of people are like, how does this feel? It felt like it's very surreal. Like you feel very detached from it. Like you're just kind of watching it happen, but extremely cool. Like I feel it's so fun to see like people who know me commenting on it, and then like OG followers commenting on it, and that's really insane, but it really didn't hit me. um, Anybody remember the video where I said, sometimes information reaches the front desk of my brain, but then it doesn't get filed? Like it's there, but it's not clicking. That's what was happening. It was reached the little black basket, and then Secretary Sarah was not filing it away. It got promptly thrown into the filing cabinet, 100% clicked, when I got a text, or rather I got an Instagram message. And I'm going to be very candid, guys. I was on the toilet. I'm not even gonna lie. Is that like super, like, I shouldn't say I was in the toilet. That sounds gross. I was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom doing a little scrolly scroll. And a girl I went to college with messaged me and said, "Girl, Jimmy Fallon talked about you on the Tonight Show last night." And I said, "Paisley, I'm really gonna need you to not play with me right now. I will freak out. I will pass away right now on the golden throne." And she sent me the video, and I was like, that's when I freaked out. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And there is a way, and he did. He didn't say my name, which kind of sucks. But he did. He talked about like the video, and he made a really funny like EDM joke. But I was like, one, Jimmy, at me, please. That was insane. I still don't know what to do about that information. So with this, my followers have grown a little bit. And there's a couple accounts on Instagram that have picked it up, and that has gained me followers as well. I will say, here's something I didn't expect. Something I did not expect. When this video went to Twitter, guys, Twitter is the Wild Wild West. I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot more like mean comments than I usually do, especially at where the video was at. I pretty much know when a video hits over 500,000, the mean things start coming in, and it's very minor. Like there's not a lot, but that's when I know I usually stop like really paying attention to the comments, because then it's going to all these different branches of the internet, and it's no longer like really my circle. Yeah. Twitter was all not my circle, and a ton of like most of it is hysterical and super funny, but some of it is so downright mean. First of all, I did not, like, this video is not made out of malice. First, like, everybody, I've got a lot of questions. Are you still drinking them? Yes, I'm still drinking them. That video purely just showed, one, my new awareness, but I continue to drink them now. My favorite way to drink them is 80% water, 20% drink, because it is extremely sweet. So, but that's kind of like a good thing, because then when you're drinking it like that, it doesn't taste like a watered down drink. It just tastes like juice, because it is extremely sweet. So I either do 80-20 or like 50-50. 50-50 when I'm going through the drive-through, because I feel really bad about like trying to, I feel like 50-50 is easier to say over the drive-through thing, rather than say, can I have 80% water, 20% drink? I feel like that's so high maintenance. 50-50 is already high maintenance. So, but like I'm not mad at Panera, nor do I blame them for anything. I mean, do I think it's wild to have a drink with 260 milligrams of caffeine in it? 100%. But I'm pretty sure that was kind of the point of these lemonades. Like, it's a charged lemonade, it's meant to pack a punch. I just didn't realize how hard that punch was. But these things are gas. Like, I have the unlimited sip club. I'm not gonna lie, I have one almost every day. I still consider it a treat, but I work at Panera most days. So, but I water them down significantly. However, a bunch of like I'm getting messages. And there's this one person that sent like a really long DM, and I think they did it. I'm gonna assume they did it out of the kindness of their hearts, but based on the way that they wrote it. But it was this paragraph, and this wasn't a comment. Like, this is a DM. They went out of their way because they felt that I needed to know this. And they were like, "Hey, friend, I just want you to know, like, they do have signage and you cannot blame companies for your irresponsibility. It is your responsibility as a consumer to know what you're putting in your body. And it is unfair to blame other people for your mistaken actions." Like, it was like a whole thing. And I was like, homie, I'm not mad, nor do I blame Panera. Like, I mean, guys, like, it's wild. What, like 260 milligrams in a lemonade? That's crazy. And what I didn't realize is how kind of this was already sort of a conversation. Like, Panera employees are like commenting, they're like, yeah, but like people have no idea. Like, they really don't realize like how much is in this drink. And unfortunately, like some parents, like they said like they'll see like parents give it to their kids on accident. That's not good. But I'm like, it's good. Like, it's good. Like, yeah, there's a label. I didn't read it. That's okay. And then I read it and I was like, oh my God. It was just an oh my God moment. Like, we are okay. We are okay. So, but I just find that hysterical, and most of the comments are so funny. I also did not realize how it was surprising how much action I inspired for people to go get this lemonade. These are the things that I wish, like, I want to like be like, hey Panera, I just have a little question. I just want to know what percentage of your sales went up this week on the charged mango yuzu lemonade, because it's I'm just curious. Like, I want to know, because there's so many comments everywhere of people like saying that they're running to get this lemonade. I didn't expect the video to have the reach that it did. Obviously, I felt jacked up. Like, I was like, this is so funny. Like, I am buzzing from this drink, and it's, oh my God, like, I have to tell my, and to me, it's like, I have to tell my friends about this. This is crazy. Like, it's the same thing I was on the phone with a friend, a little bit before that video, and I had told her, and I thought it was funny. I told my coworkers that I was like, guess what? Like, when I see me working at Panera and I've had this drink, did you know that I'm drinking like 1,000 milligrams of caffeine? Like, it was just kind of a funny moment, but it's definitely got it away from me, and that's okay. But yes, I am still drinking it. Has Panera reached out? No. A bunch of people are like, you need to get paid for this because this is the best ad I've ever seen. I really appreciate that. We are trying to reach out to Panera, because I mean, I would love to work with them. I love their food. I always have. Their mac and cheese is my absolute favorite. And I mean, at this point, I'm there, more days out of the week than I care to admit. So like, I think that it would be super, super cool. I'm gonna whisper a dream of mine right now. Like, guys, between you and me, how cool would it be for me to, I feel almost embarrassed like sharing this. But we're gonna say that this is like manifestation or something. I'm not really sure. But plus on the podcast, like, it's you and me, there's literally no one else here. Anyway, how cool would it be for me to make my own flavor? Like, what if we collaborated and I got to make my own flavor? Have I already decided, I think, or do I have multiple ideas of what flavor I would want that to be? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think that will happen? I don't know. It'd be pretty neat. I don't know if Panera wants to. I don't know if Panera's mad at me. I hope not. But we are trying to contact them to see if we can collaborate or something. I don't really know. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I will say, it's been like overwhelmingly positive, but it has brought its own demons, with this social media, having an audience thing. If you're new to the podcast, it's December of 2023 right now. I started gaining this audience in March. In March, I had 200 followers. 200. That's it. On TikTok. And not many on any other social platform. And now I have, almost what, I think 560,000 or something like that. Like, you know, this grew super fast. And so this all still feels very new. And but it's like I haven't had to deal with hate in the way that I've seen other influencers talk about until now. This was the first time that I really nothing bothers me. And you know, with this now, the articles are going all over the news, they're going on Facebook, so this has reached past like my normal friend group that is on TikTok and knows like this is my family and like my outstretched friends, like they're seeing this and they're reading the comments. So I've gotten, you know, people asking like, does this bother you? And I've even had some followers who like they'll comment back, or like I've had a follower DM me and she was like, you know, these people are saying these things about you and you didn't even mean that, and blah blah blah. And it doesn't bother me in that way. Like none of it. You'd think that you think that when people talk about like hate comments, you think that they mean that, you know, they see somebody call them, I don't know, ugly or something, and that they think it's true. And maybe that's somebody's experience. This isn't, but it doesn't feel like that. It's you just reading it, you're like, oh my gosh. It's not, oh, I think that's true. It's, oh, I know that's not true. And why would somebody say that? That's so mean. And I've and it really hasn't, it didn't faze me. A lot of it made me laugh. Because if you can really take it as a joke, you know, it's whatever. But then this meme account, I had a meme account. I've actually had two meme accounts reach out to me on Instagram, and with multi-million followers, like 50 million followers and like 8 million followers or something like that, like big accounts. And they wanted to repost the video. First account, I said yes. And then I found out what happens when you are on those channels. And the comments, you know, I can like not read the comments, but my DMs have been like a very safe place for me, at least. Like I will get, like I really don't get mean DMs until now. I got two that were alarmingly mean. And again, like I'm not, you know, I'm telling you this because you were my friend, not for sympathy or whatever. It's more of just like an experience thing. It's alarmingly mean. And I'm not going to repeat what they said because we don't need to bring that kind of negativity here. And I don't even really want to bring this podcast to like a negative space. Like we're all, you know, it's all good. But that has been like an interesting part of the experience. So when the other meme account like came in, I looked at it and I thought about it. I really did, because you know, I want exposure. Especially Instagram is not my strongest platform. It's one that I really want to grow more in 2023 and kind of find my place there. I really found my place with TikTok. I found my place with even Pinterest, and I haven't really found it with Instagram. And so for a minute I was like, this is, you know, it'd be really smart for me to do this. You know, this has a lot of people following it. A lot of like my friends follow it. It is a very well-known account. But then I thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh, that just comes down to pride. And honestly, when your videos get shared like that, although it is really cool to have it seen by so many people, that doesn't feed into the intention of me building my platforms at all. That doesn't feed our community. That doesn't, you know, help me build relationships with people. Those are, you know, if people start to follow me off of that, they know me off of one video, they don't really know me. And though some of them might be really, really awesome and you know, join the community and really get to be a part of that, and we get to build that sort of online relationship, but then a lot of them are not. A lot of them are you know, not friendly faces. So I was like, it's just not, it's not worth it. It's just for clout. Like, and I don't need clout. I want this to be like a good place all around for everyone, not just me. And so I can't, you know, build a community like that by just throwing out like that, throwing open that door. You know what I mean? Which kind of, it might sound weird considering it's social media, like it's all public, but there's definitely different, you can control a little bit where on the internet your content goes. And it's funny because especially on TikTok, like I was talking to another friend and she was so mad because one of her videos went really, really viral, but it went to a really weird side of TikTok that was not her target audience at all. And not only does that, like, that messes up your metrics and engagement, because you may gain followers, but you're not getting people who know you, like you, trust you, who are there for you. So then your engagement numbers off, like not just from a metric standpoint, but just from a personal platform standpoint. It does feel like this is like your home, like you've built this home and you've invited all these people here, and now there's a bunch of people busting through the door that are like trying to ruin the party. Like that's what it feels like. So anyway, that part hasn't been so fun. However, here's the thing with that. One, it was a great exercise for, if we're really looking at the positives here. It really, I got to see how I react in that moment. I got to understand how that feels, and I also got to practice making sure that that does not affect me in a way that will negatively impact me or my community, because at the same time, like I have a responsibility to you guys, and I'm not just gonna let some, mean person in my DMs knock me down to the point where I stop talking to you guys. That'd be so stupid. And it is what it is. Like, it's the internet. There's always going to be mean people. And for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't have said yes to the first meme account. But I thought, you know what? For every mean comment I get, there's going to be 10, 20, 30 people who I made laugh. And like, that's really all that matters. But anyway, so that's been like the aftertaste effects of it. But other than that, this has been so freaking cool. Like, this feels like a big career thing, and it's been people have been so awesome. Like, you guys have been messaging me, and they're telling me like how great this is and how proud you are, and that makes me so happy, because it feels like a career move, and this is not a very traditional career. So I really don't know what to expect or any of that, but it is something like, it just, guys, like Jimmy Fallon talked about me. I'm shitting myself right now. Like, it's so insane. And yeah, so I hope that more positive stuff comes out of this. I really hope like a really cool partnership with Panera would come out of this, but we'll see. I have no idea. I'm still gonna work at Panera. Like, here's what I love. Here's what I love, because I share, share a lot of me on the internet, but it people, people like to put labels, especially with social media. You go to certain people on the internet for certain things, and even when I meet you guys, oh my gosh, and guys, I met two of you. If you listen to the podcast, girls, ladies, I feel like saying girls can be taken as like disrespectful, because I'm not trying to say like little girl, but like, you're my girls, it's just like GURLS, you know what I mean? Like, you're my girlies. But anyway, girls, ladies, when I saw you in Goodwill in Myrtle Beach, like Polly's Island area, you guys are so fun, so sweet. Tell your mom I said hi. But like, I got to meet like them when I get to meet you guys in public. And like, you will tell me about the videos that you love, and it's so funny because like people will describe me in different ways. Like, they'll be like, oh, she's the laundry girl, oh, she's the grocery shopping girl, now there's like the Panera girl. And I'm obsessed with this, because it's like, I was telling another person this week, they were like, you're the laundry and Panera girl. I was like, you know what, I love this. Like, obviously there's like so many facets of me as a person, but this branding that like my audience is giving me, I'm so here for it. I love it. So yeah, that's the new platform I'm standing on. I make my own laundry and I get jacked up on Panera. And that's where we are. But guys, I hope the video is entertaining. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Because looking back at it, it even makes me laugh, like how buzzing I was with caffeine. I do not need that much caffeine. I don't need caffeine in general. I haven't had caffeine today, and I'm wired just because that's the kind of person I am. But yeah, I hope it brings you a little bit of a laugh, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I was glad that we kind of got to chit chat about it, got to give you the behind the scenes of everything that's been going on. If you have any more questions, please go to our Instagram and I'd be happy to answer them. I did a Q&A on my personal Instagram this week, and it was actually really, really fun because I haven't really done those, mostly because I don't think anybody's interested, but now I actually see that people have questions, and it's really fun to answer. So again, if anytime you have questions, feel free to DM me or comment on my Instagram or Attainable Podcast Instagram. And if you liked this episode, please share it with a friend. Share it on Twitter, since apparently that's a really neat social platform that can get you places. But please share this on your Instagram stories. Share it with a friend. The more that we share the podcast, the more that we as a podcast can do. And yeah, you guys are awesome. I hope you have an absolutely fabulous, fabulous week. I love you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.